So I want to talk a little bit about the "it's okay to be white" controversy that's been actually all over the news here in my hometown. Basically, people have been putting up those "it's okay to be white" posters around the place. And for those of you who don't know, also Senator Pauline Hanson, who is basically Australia's attempt at Donald Trump, but nowhere near as charismatic and nowhere near as entertaining. Just some stupid cunt trying to, be the populist. The populist right-wing candidate, and actually having some success, which is surprising. But she introduced a proposition before the Australian government. This was covered by Sargon of Akkad, as I'm sure some of you know. Basically, getting them to vote on "it's okay to be white," like literally getting them to vote on the phrase. And well, as we all know, "it's okay to be white" was the greatest stunt 4chan ever proved, because it's essentially a trap. It's designed to basically make these people vote against it. And they did. It was actually a majority, not a huge majority, but a majority of people of the Senate disagreed and voted against "it's okay to be white." They voted against that proposition, which is scary when you think of it, but it happened. And those who voted for it, basically, the Liberal Party just claimed that it was a clerical error. We didn't actually vote for it, guys. It's all good. It's all good. It was a mistake. Yeah, we didn't actually vote for it. Yeah. Of course they did, but they can't admit that in this political climate. And, it's the greatest trap 4chan ever told, because it's completely true. It's okay to be white. There's nothing wrong with being white. Your color of your skin doesn't matter at all. Who cares? Doesn't say anything about your merits as a person. It's okay to be white, it's okay to be black, it's okay to be Asian, it's okay to be any race. It doesn't matter, Now, my personal stance, I'm against white pride, I'm against black pride, I'm against any sort of racial pride, because in my opinion, there's nothing to be proud of in your race. You didn't choose what race you were born as. It's not an achievement, it's not an accomplishment. And it's basically just it's a way for people who have nothing good to say about themselves, no achievement that they can, hang their hat on to say, "Oh, look, I'm special. I'm proud. I'm a white man. Look at all the good things white people have done. I'm going to attribute that to myself." It's like, well, what have you done? "Oh, I do nothing. I've got no achievements. There's nothing interesting about me." It's like, okay, well, that's a bit pathetic, isn't it? Same thing with black pride. "Oh, look at me. I'm a black person. Yes, I'm proud. Blah, blah, blah." It's like, okay, tell me about yourself. I don't care about your skin color. There's nothing to be proud of. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. But it is okay to be whatever race you are. It doesn't matter. What's wrong with being white? What's wrong with being any race? But of course, it's seen as a racist dog whistle, which is funny. What else are we gonna? What else? I mean, we had the OK sign. 4chan turned that into a Nazi thing. That was another stunt by 4chan, that the OK symbol is racist, and they went with it, and now it is racist. "It's okay to be white" is now apparently racist. What else? 4chan just needs to do something like, "I like green apples over red apples." And they need to somehow, turn that into a white supremacist statement and have all these SJW types. If you prefer green apples over red apples, then you're a racist. It shows that you discriminate based on color. It's great. It's great. I love the work 4chan does in regards to that. It's absolutely hilarious. But I've been doing a bunch of research for a video I'm working on. A scripted video, a long project. Some of it, it's gonna need sources and research done. It's on the Aboriginal population of Australia, and basically the struggles they face in the past and continue to face into the future, and sort of just a history and my thoughts on the whole Aboriginal problem that it has been going on for many years with the Aboriginal communities here in Australia. The alcoholism, the destitution, the disproportionate crime. It's sort of an examination into that, and basically, yeah, it's a long project. But I've been doing research on it. I was doing some work on it today, and it surprises me. Any YouTube video I look at that has allowed comments on it, on the subject of Aboriginal Australians, on their history, on the stolen generation, on the White Australia policy. Any article I've read that allows comments with stuff on the same topic. It is just completely filled with racism. And I don't just mean the fucking Aboriginal fucking people, they've been here for fucking 50,000 years and they invented a stick. Like, not just that. Not just the anti-Aboriginal, anti-immigration sort of stuff that we see all the time here in Australia. Well, not all the time, but, you know, we see from the standard crop of Australian racists that's always been here. But the amount of anti-white racism was actually incredibly prevalent and incredibly popular, just upvoted to insane amounts on these articles and these fucking, like, hold on, let me show you this one here. Like, some comments on this video about the stolen generation, you know. We got this person. I'm sorry, but white people and those who follow in their footsteps are the blight on the earth, period. They are the real cancer of the planet, if not the galaxy. Diabolical beyond imagination. And what makes this, like, you know, it'll be fine if this was just, like, whatever, you know, just some racist, but that's not how wider society sees it. You know, they call it reverse racism, as if it's something, like, it's unique, like, it's different to normal racism. It doesn't make any sense. And this is why this narrative that the alt-right has, that, you know, white people are under attack, that white people are being oppressed. I personally don't think we're being oppressed, but I do think that white people are sort of under attack, and they sort of have been. Racism towards white people is normalized in modern Western society. It really is. You know, when I was a security guard, I could be called a fucking dumb white cunt. No one cared. But if I called the guy who told me that a dumb black cunt, I'd be fucking fired. So, you know, it's this idea that white people are somehow special, that we're different. Yeah, isn't that fucked up? Because we're not special. We're just fucking people like everyone else. You know, we don't just magically have thicker skins, you know, just because we're white people. And it's the fucked up thing, you know. Europeans took over the Aboriginal country. White people are racist. They just learn how to hide their racism. What they did to the Aborigines is exactly what they did to the Native Americans in the United States. Blah, 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 blah. White people are so happy now for the killing of all the Aboriginal people when they take of the Herman. I'm not. I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with our racist history. And Australia does have a racist history up until the 1970s, where most of the legislation was finally removed. Why is this aspersion cast upon me as a white man? I've done none of these things. I'm a fucking eBay seller. I'm not a colonialist. Like, what the... And it's all over the place. It's all over these videos. Now, of course, there's plenty of anti-black racism as well. It's racist of both types arguing against each other. But the anti-white rate, that comment I just read, 51 upvotes. The fucking comment I read before, 88 upvotes. People agree with this shit. There are people out there who have these sentiments and agree with them. And, you know, I don't want them censored. I don't want them removed. I'm fine with them being there. I'm happy that they're here. I'm happy that they're allowed to speak, because it means that we can be exposed to it and we can realize it. All of us, not just white people, everyone. Everyone who's seriously against racism can take a look at this and say, wow, this is a problem too. It's not just black people who are discriminated against racially. It's white people too. Not by the government in any way, but neither are... Here in Australia, there's no racist legislation. There's no oppression of any racial group by the government. Everybody here has the same rights. Doesn't matter what your race is, doesn't matter what your gender is. There's no systematic oppression. No matter what these, you know, far-left radicals want to say about it, there's no systematic oppression here in Australia. There's no institutional racism here in Australia. There's institutional racism in other countries. There's institutional racism against white people in South Africa. There's institutional racism against black people in other countries. It exists. But not here. But these attitudes exist. This anti-white attitude exists even within many white people here. This white guilt complex. And obviously, racism against the native population here exists. Racism against immigrants here. Well, not racism against immigrants, but racist against, you know, immigrant races, you know, like, you know, Asian immigration and stuff like that. That obviously all exists here too. But we just ignore the anti-white racism because it doesn't fit the narrative, right? It doesn't fit the narrative we're looking to push. The narrative we're looking to push is the white guilt narrative. The narrative that all white people should feel guilty and feel responsible for the sins of the past, the sins of the father bullshit. Fuck that. I'm not, you know, this whole National Sorry Day thing, apologizing to the Aboriginal community. No, I'm not apologizing. What did I do? I've done nothing. I've barely even interacted with Aboriginal people here in Australia. I mean, obviously I have. I've talked to them, and well, most of the reactions have been negative because I'll save all that for the video I'm making. But I did nothing. I wasn't responsible. I'm an individual. I'm not a collectivist. I don't see myself as you know, like a representative of my race or anything like that. I don't give a fuck about my race. If all the white people in the world died out tomorrow and it was all fucking brown people, I wouldn't give a shit. It doesn't matter. And vice versa, if all the brown people died out and it was all white people, who cares? I mean, obviously, I don't want people dying out, but I mean, like, if, you know, that's just the way the world went, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Race is fucking irrelevant to me. It doesn't mean anything. But apparently, I'm meant to be a collectivist. I'm meant to say, oh, I'm a white person. I have all these privileges or all these things. I need to acknowledge my racist past, the racist past of my race. No, I don't need to acknowledge shit. I've got nothing to say sorry for. I have nothing to apologize for. Now, sure, maybe there are some fucking 90-year-old white people who have some apologizing to do. But they don't have any apologizing to do to the 20-year-old Aboriginal kids going around saying, oh, this is our land, this is our land. You need to respect us, you need to apologize to us. No, they have to apologize to the old Aboriginal people who they contributed to the oppression of. And even then, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were against it. You know, in the 50s and 60s, there was massive movements to support the emancipation of the Aboriginal people from their oppression. There was huge amounts of support. And I would hope that if I was living in that time, I would be one of them. But obviously, you never know. You don't know what your past self would believe. You'd hope that you'll believe the way you do now, but you don't know. But we're told as white people that we need to feel guilty. That this is not our land. I'm sorry, this is my land. I was born here. I was raised here. All of my family is here. What do you want me to do? Go back to Greece? My ancestral home? The home of my family? No, but I've got no connection to Greece. Nothing. I've been there once when I was very young. Went to the Greek islands on vacation. That was it. I don't know anything about the country. I don't care about it. All I know is that it's a fucking economic shithole at the moment. That's pretty much it. Don't get me wrong. I like the music. I like the food. It's cool. But... and what, you want me to... but, you know, that's what these people say. You know, you're a colonialist. Why? Oh, because you're a white man. No, I'm not. I'm me. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a human being, just like you. Okay? I go through struggles. I have problems. I laugh, I cry. We're all people, man. And this is never going to be fixed as long as there is racism on either side. But the thing that scares me is these people, these anti-racism campaigners, who are so quick to point out all the racism against black people, which exists, which sure it does. A lot of it's overblown, you know. People like me are called Nazis and racists. Obviously that's bullshit, but of course, obviously there's genuine racism out there. But yeah, oh yeah, all the anti-black racism, yep, it's fine. The anti-Asian racism, yep, it exists. Oh, anti-white racism? Cry me some more white male tears, huh? You can't be racist towards white people, they're the oppressors. No, I'm not an oppressor. I'm a person. Well, what do you have to say to that? Thanks for listening, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think. But I'm getting sick of this fucking shit, man. I'm getting sick of the racism from both sides. I'm getting sick of the fact that the left has just destroyed racism as a word. Like, I can't even say it in this video without cringing a bit to myself, because with the political position I'm in, you know, like, of being on neither side, of not being right-wing, or, you know, not being one of these fucking alt-right Nazis, but not being one of these ultra-far-left SJWs, I'm still sort of stuck in the position where I feel like I have no friends really, you know, and it sucks because, you know, the right, the alt-right will call me a fucking snowflake bitch, and the far left will call me a fucking Nazi. Like, where's the room for common sense in this political climate? Nobody wants it. Everyone wants to be an ideologue. Everyone wants to champion a fucking cause. No one wants to see the humanity in all of us, because that disrupts the narrative. And that pisses me the fuck off, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can get on this microphone, on this camera, and bitch. That's about it. But hey, as long as I can do that, you know, as long as YouTube doesn't fucking kick me off the platform and remove my videos like they did with the video on the Pittsburgh shooting that they removed recently. I'm going to be re-uploading that's censored for YouTube, but I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. They took it down. They struck my account. They refused my appeal. Because, yeah, you know, a denunciation of anti-Semitism and extremism and a fucking encouragement of rationality and calm during a time of political strife and tragedy. Yeah, that's hate speech, YouTube. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Leave your thoughts down below. And, take care. Stay safe. Stay fucking sane. Don't get wrapped up in this narrative. Don't feel the need to take a side. Be yourself. Have your own opinions. That's always going to be my message here. Thanks, guys. I'll see you again soon.